Now don't forget that when you leave. No, you're not about the same height.
Good effort though.
Just hit right between them. This is good.
Norm wants to be hidden.
Yeah, how about me? Okay.
I don't mind. Yeah. The eyebrows there. There you go.
Well, it's actually,
Let's wait for the speaker. Okay, so John says the house can only have half.
That makes you ready for people.
Okay. You notice I can punch in the hand? I didn't want to pay the heat for it. Get in here. Okay.
Come on.
Test, test.
Oh, good for you.
Test, test, test.
My red tie that I wanted to wear, so I put it all the way on.
Bill's just guard call.
Pick a side.
Pick a side. They'll tie us.
Oh, it's a course. There, you tell me which way. That, good, I'll lean right. You should put like a rubber chairs to get more of his hand.
We are. This is not a big enough room as far out.
That's right. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they'll be great. I think we should put a row of chairs. We'll get more of his hand, right? It was like this. Yeah, you get frequent flyer miles.
Candace and I get all the flyer miles.
I think we should.
Turn sideways.
Yeah, like
Hey, I'm not going anywhere because there's no room for tower wherever. There we go. There we go. Now I feel someone doing something out there.
I don't even know if it's you. I didn't even waste so much. Let's see if it actually turned out. Yeah, you guys actually I'd be very Hi, Shauna.
So
How's it going, Bob? We like it, but we don't listen. How we can use some chairs.
Yeah, I think we should have a row of chairs. They make us rest.
We look like we're a lot of.
Right out here.
I am. I'm trying to
Unfortunately, I'll let you, we're about to say, when you talk abortion.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Casey. Show up, stand in the middle. Show up, stand in the middle. I'm not, even Casey has one.
If we get it,
That's why you're in the front.
Yes, you get a point. Okay. Got it. Okay.
I think we're about ready to start here. You know, I don't have a gavel, but I probably need one. Do I need a big gavel here for the House? But I think we're ready to begin. Excited to be here again. Feels like the session's starting, but we're just ready for Thanksgiving. Over the past few works, there's been a lot of discussion about how we move forward. Hopefully today will clarify that. I want to assure you that our focus remains on what matters most to Utahns, which is long-term stability, strong institutions, and ensuring that Utah's future is shaped by its people, not outside interests. The legislature reflects the people. They elected us. That policy has served Utah really, really well. You all know last spring, U.S. News and World Report, after 70 different metrics, evaluated all 50 states, and Utah for the third year in a row was rated #1. You're all aware that rich states, poor states, for 18 years in a row has rated Utah as the best economic outlook. Utah is the best state in the nation. However, it's deeply concerning that an unelected judge overrode the Utah Constitution, specifically Article 9, and silenced Utahns by imposing a map without public input. The judge chose a map that didn't even follow Proposition 4. Proposition 4 required a public process. That did not happen. The people of Utah were denied a chance to review the map, provide feedback, or be heard. This is not about partisanship. It's about protecting the integrity of decisions that shape our representation. The courts, they're not made up to take public comment, hold public hearings, or make fine-tune adjustments. That is not their job. And the process they have is not made to do that. But when they try, they create chaos, and that's what we're experiencing right now. Utahns deserve a process that is stable, transparent, and accountable, one in which decisions that are made with the respect of constitutional roles of each branch of government. Unfortunately, the courts have created confusion for our communities, candidates, and for Utahns across the state. By design or by default, Judge Gibson has authorized the most partisan and thus the most gerrymandered map in the history of the state of Utah. I assume she didn't intend or set out to gerrymander herself, but anyone who looks at the donut hole map sees very clearly it's gerrymandered. Yes, Judge Gibson gave us a gerrymandered map. That's why we're appealing to the Utah Supreme Court and preparing the appeal right now. We urge the district court to issue its final ruling quickly so we can use all the options and tools available to us as we appeal that decision to the Supreme Court. It is planned that the governor will call a special session on December 9th to put in place the process we'll follow. It is our intent to have the case appealed to the Utah Supreme Court promptly so the public and candidates can have clarity. We cannot continue relying solely on reactive, case-by-case responses of the court. That is not the best way for the state of Utah to be governed. We need help from the citizens of Utah. Their clear voice needs to be heard. That's why we're preparing a constitutional amendment for the 2026 ballot. The amendment will clarify the Constitution that addresses the growing concern that ballot initiatives can override the Utah Constitution in ways that cannot be adjusted when the language is unconstitutional or conflicts with other state laws or creates non-practical challenges. Utah deserves a process that is clear, functional, and accountable. Our founding fathers said very clearly, the differences between a republic and a democracy is like the difference between order and chaos. They knew exactly what they were talking about. Chaos is what we are experiencing right now, and we need a constitutional amendment to fix it. Benjamin Franklin was clear when he said, the Constitution created a republic if we can keep it. Utah must remain governed by Utahns through transparent constitutional processes. Our focus of our state, our focus is on the future of our state, upholding our Constitution, protecting the voice of the people, and ensuring that decisions shaping Utah are made by Utahns, not by unelected officials or out-of-state interests. We cannot allow special interest groups outside of Utah run initiatives that override our republic, threaten local businesses, or undermine those who are duly elected to represent their communities. We cannot let unchecked initiatives turn Utah into California. By putting Utah first, we can continue to make our state the best place to live, work, and grow a business. Thank you. Speaker.
Good morning, and thank you, President Adams. Over the past 2 weeks, President Adams and I have spent countless hours in discussions with our caucuses, our leadership teams, one another, and with the governor. Today, we stand here together as not just a legislature, but as two elected branches of government, those elected by the people. The legislative branch and the executive branch are fully united. We are moving forward to solve a problem that was created by the district courts. A problem that is outside our constitutional framework. Let me be absolutely clear. The courts have thrown this process into chaos. The map imposed by the court is flat out sloppy. I think we've all seen that. We are hearing from counties just recently that there are additional problems with the maps that we didn't even know about until just within the last 24 hours. Even more than what the Lieutenant Governor had originally spoken about. Instead of providing clarity, the district court has introduced uncertainty, confusion, and instability into something that we hold as foundational and is how Utahns run our elections. Deadlines have been missed. The required GIS map has been delayed. Counties are left unable to begin the basic administration because the maps are not accurate. This is unacceptable. The people of Utah deserve better. Utahns deserve a stable and predictable system, not one where court-driven delays and demands reshape the future of our state. That's why the governor will call us into a special session in early December to ensure our election system has the clarity that it needs. We share the same concern, protecting the integrity of our processes and giving Utahns confidence in how the decisions are made. As President Adams said, and as the House and others have been working and trying really hard to get to this point, we will appeal this decision. However, what many don't realize is that we can't fully appeal until Judge Gibson wraps up her final decision. We hope that she will have the decency to do so as quickly as possible so that an appeal can go through a fair and timely process. We believe she has an obligation to do this. As we move through the special session and pursue our appeal to the Utah Supreme Court, we work to ensure timely action from the district court, and our goal remains simple: protect the voice of the people. A lot of people have framed this as a power struggle between the legislature and the judiciary. That isn't what this is about. This is about representation. How seriously we as elected officials take our responsibility to represent the people of Utah. When we were elected, we took an oath to uphold the Utah Constitution. Article 9 of the Utah Constitution reads, word for word, "The legislature shall divide the state into congressional, legislative, and other districts accordingly." Upholding our constitutional oath means taking responsibility for this task and ensuring Utahns, let me repeat this, ensuring Utahns, not outside interest groups, national organizations, and last-minute court interventions shapes Utah's future. This is not a turf war. It's about the trust Utahns have placed in us to carry out the most fundamental constitutional duties. We intend to honor that trust. We will keep fighting for public confidence that we have been given, because representation is too important to abandon. This is a defining moment for Utah's governance. Two branches of government, those branches chosen by Utah voters, are standing together to correct this wrong, to restore order and ensure our system works the way our Constitution was intended. We will fix this. We will appeal. We will protect the Utah constitutional framework. And we will ensure that Utahns continue to be the ones who shape Utah's future. As President Adams mentioned, it's served us well, and we're not about to let that change. Okay, I think we have a few minutes for 2 to 3 questions. Ben?
What is the plan for the special session? What are you specifically going to advance in the special session? And are you seeking an emergency stay or not on the map itself? Or does this map that she signed stay?
So I'll let President Adams add it as well. So we're not seeking an emergency appeal, we are seeking a full appeal. And I think that's an important clarification. One of the concerns that's been brought up and that we've had with an emergency appeal is you don't have the time that it takes to get the full arguments out. We believe we have the right arguments, and we believe that once those full arguments have been made to the Supreme Court, that the Supreme Court will stand on the side of the people of Utah and those that have been elected. Again, I just want to point out again, both branches of government elected by the people, are standing together to protect the constitutional framework. President Adams.
Thank you. Yeah, and again, we need to be able to use all the tools in our tool belt. Until she gets that final ruling, we don't have those. We could go on a temporary basis and try to appeal that we think is in our best interest, to have her give her final ruling. We're asking for that to be done promptly and fast. And we think this is an emergency, so both an emergency appeal and a final appeal. But we think when we have all the tools in our tool belt, we have a higher probability of success.
Okay, President, so are you going to push back the filing deadline in the special session?
We're going to talk about that. We're working on it. We're going to make this work. Again, those details will be hammered out over the next few weeks, but that is a possibility. But we've got to make this work timing-wise, so that'll probably be an item.
But is there time to get a different map in place for 2026, or is this legal fight more about 2028?
We're going to look at both options. I mean, we're going to try our best to get a map on, and that's why we're looking at this special session. And again, the details aren't worked out. I know you're going to want them, but we don't have them. So, but Speaker, unless you know something I don't.
No, but I want to be clear. We are going to be fighting for 2026 as well. So as this process moves, not sure what that looks like yet, but I'm confident between both the governor and the legislature that we'll find the right pathway forward.
How will the amendment be different than Amendment D?
We're not going to get into that right now because that process is a separate process that will play out, but there will be an amendment.
Special session call.
We haven't talked about that, but I can just tell you that we need to let the people speak. I mean, we've done what we can in the courts. We've gone to the courts over and over and over and over again. It's time that people have a chance to speak. We want them to be able to speak, and we hope to put something on the ballot next fall that allow their voice to be heard. They were ignored, totally ignored in the judge's ruling. They had no chance for public input, couldn't look at the maps. The map she chose had no public input. No one knew about it until she ruled. And it's a donut hole that is gerrymandered, the worst of any gerrymandered map in the history of the state of Utah.
In court filings this week,
Is impeachment or censure of the judge at all on the table, either in the special or in the upcoming general session?
No, we're not focused on that right now. We've said as a legislature over and over and over again that our focus right now is standing to get the people's voice back and to find a pathway forward so that the people are the ones choosing the maps, not one judge. That's our number one call.
And we need their help.
Thank you.
in court filings this week, your lawyers, there were emails from the plaintiffs, and your lawyers declined a chance to push back the ruling from the judge. Your lawyers had an opportunity to get the ruling on November 3rd, but instead they chose November 10th. Why the fire drill now when your lawyers had a chance to get the ruling earlier in time to appeal?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're going to walk through a methodical process. Again, we've gone back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, but we're going to try to find the best way forward, and that's what we're doing here. We think a full appeal is the best answer. It's going to require her to make her decision and judgment fast. We think that's the best way forward.
Right, but you had a chance to do it up until now, no?
Next question.
Yeah.
So at this point, just to be clear, for now at least, you're not seeking an emergency stay, so absent an emergency stay, you really can't do anything about the current congressional map that the judge adopted. So that's it for the next cycle, right?
There's a bunch of different options that are out there. So yes, there will be options where we go before the Supreme Court and ask them to push pause on this process so that we can fully vet out the arguments on all sides. But then there's also a process in which we could make an argument to say, let's hear it in the same amount of time. But our number one, we are all seen Judge Gibson's dug in, and so that's her decision. She's made that ruling. We feel it's best to now get in front of the Supreme Court. I want to point out something that a lot of people are missing. This was never the original intent of Better Boundaries and Proposition 4. You now have people like Blake Moore, who was the co-chair of Better Boundaries at the time, come out and say that this was never the intent. Judge Gibson has taken this and blown this out of the water. The intent was never to take away the constitutional authority of the legislature. The intent that was the redistricting commission, independent redistricting commission, was to be advisory to the legislature. Never and nowhere does it say in the Constitution, nowhere does it say in Proposition 4, nowhere in any part of code or any part of statute does it give one judge the ability to pick a map for the people of Utah. And that's what this is about. And we believe that as this process goes forward to the Supreme Court, that we will get, that the court will see it that way as well.
So is
Yeah,
impeachment
thanks.
off the
We're,
table?
we're happy to talk to you. Thank you. After. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you.